Okay, um, we're going to take a look at my football media player application. We're running on the computer platform, but it also runs on tablets, smartphones, and streaming TV platforms. I'm going to talk about the control keys as we go through here, and where it's appropriate, I'll tell you what the corresponding control keys are on the other platforms. One of the things, though, that I want to get out of the way here first is that the sound of the game plays when you're playing the player at standard playback speed. When you run at half speed or you run at double speed, it mutes the sound of the game. But because I'm going to be doing the voiceover on this thing, I'm going to use the in-application volume control to mute the sound. So we'll start it here. And the first thing that I'll do is on this main menu that you can see on the left side of the screen, I'll move down to the volume control and step it down to the point where it's fully muted. So here we go.
Sunset in Central Ohio on a beautiful day as we welcome you to Saturday Night.
Okay, so now we've set the volume down to a level where I can talk without competing with the game. So the main thing that is useful in this, and really it was the first function that I built into the application, was the ability to jump from play to play. There's a lot of dead time in any football game, and if you're going to be watching a recorded version of it, it'd be nice to be able to skip over the stuff that is kind of irrelevant. You watch a live game and you have 3.5 hours of football game, but there's really about a half hour to 40 minutes of actual football game. There's a lot of extraneous stuff in there. So we'll start out here by just going to the opening kickoff. Now it isn't necessary at all for you to do this. I mean, if you want to just watch the game, you can just watch the game. If you hit enter, it takes that main menu away, and you can just sit and watch the game. Now the commercials have been removed from the game, so you already have the game time down from 3.5 hours to 2 hours. But if you take advantage of the controls that are built into the player, you can cut your viewing time significantly without really losing anything that's important in the game. So let's go to the opening kickoff. So we have markers at the beginning of every play in the game, and that's how we do this skipping from play to play. So on this, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you can see that we have an indicator of what's going on in that play. So it's play one, it's a kickoff. There is a return on the kickoff. And then notice over here that we have a countdown timer to the next play. This countdown timer starts 5 seconds after the play begins. We also, over on the right side of the status line, we show who has the ball, what quarter we're in. It's the first series of the first quarter. There are 10 plays in Oklahoma's first possession. And it says a total of 7 yards. Ends with downs. Looks to me like that's incorrect. But let's go on. Let's go on to the next play. It's the third play. It's a run. There's a gain of 7 yards. And see the countdown timer start to tick after 5 seconds. Let's go to the next play. Incomplete pass. 36 seconds to the next play. I don't know about you, but incomplete passes are not something that I want to spend a lot of time on. So we've been moving forward exclusively here. You can see the play number in advance as we go up. We can also go back, just so you know. So here's something that's kind of interesting. If you saw something and you kind of missed what happened there, you can go to this skip 5 and you can skip back 5 seconds, or you can skip ahead 5 seconds with the arrow keys. You know, a lot of this stuff is covered by instant replay, but sometimes when the game is moving quickly, they don't have time to run instant replays on interesting plays. So the ability to do it yourself is kind of a nice thing. So we also can control the playback speed. Left arrow will take it down to half speed. And right arrow will take it up to double speed. And as I mentioned at the beginning here, when you're at standard speed, the game audio is on. But if you go to half speed or double speed, the audio is muted. Okay, so we also have some options here. We hit the right arrow, it'll expand the options menu. The first one is play blind. Play blind is something that was added in response to requests. Some users said that, you know, if they haven't seen the game, then they don't want to know what's going on in the game. They want to watch it as if they were watching it live, which is perfectly fine. You know, I mean, you can, as I said before, you can just turn this menu off and you can just watch the game. And it won't notice that the yellow status line down here at the bottom is gone, so you don't know the outcome of the play. You don't know, you know, what the outcome of the possession was. But if we turn that back on, as I usually do, we choose not to play blind, then we see that the result of the play as well as the result of the possession. So let's step down through here. We can also filter the teams. So if you want to see just your team on offense or just your team on defense, you can activate a filter here by using the right arrow. The designation of who is home and who is away is always here at the bottom of the screen. I mean, certainly you can tell it by looking at the field, but maybe if it's a bowl game, it's not clear who's home and away. Although one is always designated as home and one is always designated as away, even though they're on neutral territory. You also can filter by play type. You can look at just the pass plays, just the running plays, just special teams plays. And then the thing that I think is most useful is that you can filter by player. So all of the playmakers on the offensive side of the ball for both teams are key to the plays that they participate in the game. So what we look at is we have a field for who the passer is, who the receiver is, and who the ball carrier is on every play. So the quarterback obviously gets lots of screen time, so to speak, especially for Ohio State, because the quarterback runs the ball so much. But it's kind of a nice way to watch how a particular player has done through the course of the game. Okay, so if we go back, we have one more thing here that we haven't looked at yet, and it's game navigation. And what this is just sort of an overview of the entire game. The colored bars show the relative time of possession. It's actually it's calculated from their exact time of possession, but this is just a representation so that you can see who had the ball more and how many times the ball changed hands during the course of the game. We also show that how each possession ends. So if we look at the gray bars here, those represent the home team possessions. So they got the ball second. Their possession ended with a punt. Their next possession ended with a punt. That's the first quarter. Going into the second quarter, their first possession of the second quarter, they ended with a field goal. Second possession of the second quarter ended with a punt, etc., etc. So you can see the score as it moves through the quarters here. Score was what? 3-0 at the half. Then it went to 10-10, 13-17, and then Oklahoma really came out in the fourth quarter. Ends up at 31-16. So you can maneuver through here too. If you use the right arrow, it'll jump quarter to quarter. You'll notice also that on the right side, as we jump from quarter to quarter, the quarter summary information updates. Let's go back to the beginning here. So at the beginning, if we look at this this game summary over on the right side, we have information for passing yardage, rushing yardage, and total yardage, home and away. We have passing information here. We have attempts, complete, and interceptions. And then we have rushing information, rushing attempts, yards per carry, and fumbles. And as we move through the game, you'll see those numbers update. So when we enter the second quarter, which is indicated here by this yellow bar down at the beginning of the second quarter, we see that in the first quarter we had 7 passing yards, 24 rushing yards, and then we show a total of 25 yards, but that doesn't match up here because there was a penalty in there somewhere. Same thing over here. We have 89 passing yards and 11 rushing yards for a total of 114. So there's a penalty in there somewhere also. So then we also in the game navigation screen here, you can advance to the next series using the arrow keys. Advance and go back. So we're going up through the series in the second quarter. And you see that the game numbers change as we go through here. These are the cumulative numbers for the game up to the point of the play that's showing on the screen. So let's watch the bottom line, the game line. If I jump another series here, So you see for the away team, it jumped up. So again, now if we jump to the beginning of the third quarter, it'll show us the summary information for the second quarter. If we jump to the beginning of the fourth quarter, we'll jump to the quarter. We can see the quarter summary for the third quarter. So, and as you would imagine, you don't see the summary for the fourth quarter until you get just about down to the end of the game. So we see here, this is the last possession of the game. And so if we start stepping through here, there's a minute and 12 seconds left. We get down to the last play or two. That fourth quarter summary will show up. And there it is. So we see that Baker Mayfield had a really good day. Ohio State did not have a good passing day. Total yardage 493 to 304. Couple interceptions on the Ohio State side. Not a good day for Ohio State. So there it is.